What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm making my NFL Week 6 pick, so let's hop into it. And I apologize for not putting out a video last week, and if that happens in the future, I will make a post on the community page that does list all my picks for the week, so if there isn't a video out by Wednesday, just look for that. It should pop up in the subscriptions feed, so if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. But anyway, last week my record picking games was 6-8, so not a good week, below 500, and that brings my overall record to 43-35. Still not that great. And this week, much like last week, we do have 4 teams on their bye. The Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Los Angeles Rams all have a bye. So without further ado, let's just hop straight to the Thursday night football game. And it is an NFC West matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Both of these teams did lose their games last week. The 49ers lost to the Cardinals. The Seahawks lost to the Giants. So both of these teams are looking to rebound, looking to get back into that win column. And I do actually have the Seattle Seahawks winning this game at home by a final score of 26-16. The 49ers just been riddled with injuries this whole year. Christian McCaffrey hasn't even played. And last week they took a blow because their kicker, Jake Moody, got injured. So he's going to be out a few weeks. So I know the 49ers are probably going to be scrambling for a kicker. And that just kind of puts the team in a tough spot. Because now instead of kicking field goals, they might be more inclined to having to go for it on some fourth downs and having to go for 2 points. And I think that all just plays into Seattle's favor. Plus, this game is in Seattle, so tough environment to go into. And the 49ers just haven't been as dominant this year as they have in years past. So I do think the Seahawks get the win right here on Thursday Night Football. Then for the second straight week in a row, we have a London game. This time it is between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. And the Jaguars last week got their first win of the season over the Colts. So there are no more winless teams in the NFL. So a bunch of teams have a 1-4 record. But yeah, no more winless teams. The Bears also coming off a win last week. And I do have the Jaguars winning this game 34-17 over the Bears, just because the Jaguars play in London every year, so they're used to that environment. They're used to the travel. They know what it takes to go over there and win. The Bears, on the other hand, they're led by a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams, and with being a rookie, that experience of overseas travel might get the better of the Bears as a team this week. So because of that, I do have the Jaguars winning this one in London. Then moving on over to our Sunday slate of games, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Philadelphia Eagles. And I do have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this one pretty easily by a final score of 35-10. The Eagles should be getting wide receivers A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back, so that's just huge for their offense. And the Browns, as a whole, just absolutely suck this year. In my opinion, definitely the worst team in the league. Quarterback play is horrible. The wide receivers have a ton of drops. The offensive line's not blocking much. Their defense put in just horrible spots, can't get off the field. So the Browns just absolute mess of a team. And with this game being in Philly, I don't think the Browns stand much of a chance. So that's why I have the Eagles winning this pretty lopsided game right here. Then we have the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. The Texans were able to beat the Bills last week. They have another AFC East team this week in the Patriots. The Patriots lost to the Dolphins last week, and I think they're going to lose again this week to the Texans, as I have Houston winning this game by a final score of 24-13. I don't think it's going to be like a super high scoring game. I was looking at the forecast for the games this week. There is a chance of rain for this one. And on top of that, the Patriots are considering starting Drake May here within the next couple of weeks and as soon as this week. So if he starts, I don't think this really bodes well for the Patriots just because he's a rookie quarterback. But hey, we've seen rookie quarterbacks having a ton of success. And then we have the Washington Commanders at the Baltimore Ravens. So the Battle of Maryland right here. And I actually have the Commanders winning this game on the road as like an upset pick of this week. Jaden Daniels has been playing great, by far the best rookie quarterback, honestly by far the best rookie this year, at least in my opinion. I don't think anybody at the start of the season really thought the Commanders were going to be 4-1 heading into week 6, but here we are. The Ravens, definitely not a slouch team. They beat the Bengals in overtime last week, but the Ravens already fell once at home to the Raiders, so why can't they fall again to the Commanders, who are definitely a better team than the Raiders, a lot more stability. So I have the Commanders upsetting the Ravens in Baltimore by a final score of 28-27. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals at the road against the Green Bay Packers. And this is another game where rain might play an issue in it. And I do have the Packers winning this game by a final score of 23-20. Both of these two teams are kind of on par with each other. The Cardinals seem to have like a really good game. They beat the 49ers last week, but then they seem to like have a pretty bad game. The Packers, on the other hand, they've been a lot more consistent team this year. They have Jordan Love back. He's been back, but they have him back, so more stability at quarterback. Because of their consistency, I have them beating the Cardinals. Moving on over to the NFC South, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the New Orleans Saints. And I do have the Buccaneers winning this game by a final score of 30-6. And I know it's a divisional game. I know I kind of have it as a blowout. But the Saints, they started off the season really hot. going 2-0, and then they kind of just fell off a ton. Plus, Derek Carr got hurt against the Chiefs, so he's questionable for this game. And if he doesn't play, it's either going to be Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler as quarterback, and I don't think that goes well in a divisional game. So because of all that, and the fact that the Buccaneers are a pretty good team, they did lose to the Falcons in overtime last week, but overall they are still a pretty good team. Not that the Saints aren't, but that is why I have the Buccaneers over the Saints. Then moving on over to the AFC South, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans, and this could be a game of backup quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, once again for the Colts, he did really well last week, but they did lose to the Jaguars. The Titans, on the other hand, Will Levis is kind of questionable, so it might be Mason Rudolph for this game. And if that's the case, and it is Joe Flacco against Mason Rudolph, I definitely give the Colts the edge. So I do have Indianapolis winning this game by a final score of 24-22. Then moving on over to the AFC West, we have the Los Angeles Chargers on the road against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos got a win last week. The Chargers are coming off a bye. And the Broncos are playing pretty good football. Their defense is definitely held up. They haven't allowed more than 18 points in the last month of football. So if the Chargers aren't able to score, Denver's not going to have to really be able to score that much to beat them. So I do have the Broncos winning this game, pretty low scoring by a final score of 20-14. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Vegas Raiders. And I do have the Steelers winning by a final score of 17-10. Steelers are on a little bit of a losing streak, having lost their past two. But I think they right the ship here as the Raiders are kind of in a messy situation. Gardner Minshew has been pulled in a couple of games, so the quarterback situation over there in Las Vegas isn't the best. Their wide receiver Devontae Adams once out of there. So just a whole lot of moving parts with the Raiders, a lot of distractions. So I think the Steelers will be able to take advantage of kind of all those moving parts over there. And whether or not they start Russell Wilson or Justin Fields in this game, I do think they win it by a final score of 17-10. Then we have the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are coming off a Sunday night win over the Steelers, and the Lions are coming off their bye, so they are well rested for this game. And the Cowboys this year just haven't been that impressive. I know they had high expectations at the season, and they're not playing bad by any means, but they're not playing great either. The Lions, on the other hand, there's a lot of hype around them. They are playing pretty good football. They've had an extra week to prepare for this game, and I don't think they're going to have too much trouble knocking off the Cowboys in Dallas. So I have the Lions winning this game by a final score of 31-23. Then we have yet another divisional matchup in the NFC South. We have the Atlanta Falcons on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons are looking for a 3-game sweep of their division. The only thing standing in their way is Andy Dalton and the Panthers. And besides that first game with the Panthers, Andy Dalton really hasn't been too impressive. Yeah, he put up a decent fight against the Bengals, but overall, the Panthers are still the Panthers, so I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue for the Falcons. They had a great come-from-behind win against Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football, our first good Thursday Night Football game in a while. And I don't think, even though this game is in Carolina, that they stand much of a chance. Kirk Cousins does have the Falcons on a roll, so I have the Falcons winning this game by a final score of 27-13. And then moving on to our Sunday Night Football game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants. In Cincinnati, even though they're 1-4, I'd say they're probably the best 1-4 team out there. But all four of their losses have been one-score losses, so it's not like they're getting blown out like the Browns. It's not like they're just getting embarrassed on the field. It's like they're in all these games they play. The Giants, on the other hand, do have 2 wins, but I do think Cincinnati's the better team, as I have them winning this game by a final score of 33-25. And then closing out the week on Monday Night Football, we have yet another divisional game. We have 6 divisional games this week. This time it's in the AFC East, and it is the Buffalo Bills on the road at the New York Jets. And right before I started recording this video, I seen that the Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh. So I don't know who's the interim coach or who's going to take the reins of the Jets for this game and for the rest of the season. But firing your head coach the week you play a divisional game, I don't think that is that good of an idea. Normally they wait till after the game, but still, Jets definitely haven't been meeting expectations. Pretty disappointing year. And the Bills, they are coming off a loss. The Jets also coming off a loss in London to the Vikings. The Bills kind of blew that game against the Texans, just bad decision making. But like most all other divisional games, I do have this one being a pretty low scoring game, as I have the Bills winning it by a final score of 21-7. So yeah, those are my NFL Week 6 picks, and I do realize I have picked a lot of away teams to win this week. That was purely accidental, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave your thoughts down below. I'll hopefully catch you with another picks video next week. I hope you all have a good day, and God bless.